The Stanford mayor speaks after deciding to fire a city police officer following an accident that killed a pedestrian.
Urban County Council members talking about proposals to raise Lexington's minimum wage, but are they close to an agreement?
And we're at the Basketball Hall of Fame as Coach John Calipari and a UK basketball legend prepare to be inducted.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 11.
Good evening to you. He calls it a difficult move, but one he felt he had to make. Tonight, Stanford's mayor is talking to us about his decision to fire a police officer involved in a deadly crash.
Investigators say Stanford police officer Travis Richardson was driving 90 miles per hour and was not responding to an emergency when his car hit and killed a man earlier this year. The mayor made the decision to fire him after a hearing last week. Garrett Weimer has our top story at 11.
He calls him a friend, but Stanford Mayor Eddie Carter says he decided to fire Officer Travis Richardson.
I won't accept that behavior under my leadership.
In a hearing last week, a state trooper testified that Richardson was going 90 in a 55 when he hit and killed Howard Robbins on US 150 in January. Richardson was on his way to work and was not using lights and sirens. Another investigator testified that he believed Robbins was hit because he was in the roadway, not because of Richardson's speed.
And I believe that the testimony here has established that even if my client were going between 55 and 65 miles per hour, the result would have been the same.
Mayor Carter says after hearing all the evidence of what happened here on US 150 back in January, it was a difficult decision for him to make to fire Officer Richardson, and there were a lot of complex issues to deal with.
The fact is, he was going approximately 90 miles an hour in a 55 mile an hour speed limit zone, and that keeps jumping out at me, Garrett. It's just I can't, I can't overlook that.
Carter calls it a tragic accident and says it remains a difficult situation for everybody. In Lincoln County, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Richardson's attorney says they plan to appeal the decision. Richardson has not been charged.
It looks like our Friday will begin with some fog before more showers and storms move in. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has an early look at your forecast. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Amber. Rather busy as we get ready to roll our way into a Friday. You mentioned the possibility of fog. Some areas already seeing a little bit of especially valley fog settling in. Dense fog advisory continues for all the counties that you see shaded in the gray. That includes Richmond, Moorhead, down to Pikeville, Hazard, London, Corbin, Somerset in that as well. Those are areas that picked up a lot of rain a little earlier in the day. Hour by hour fog forecast as we roll through the overnight into tomorrow morning. Look at some of the numbers. Could be under a mile in terms of visibility. First thing tomorrow morning, give yourselves a little more time than normal to get to where you're going. Fog should burn away fairly quickly. Nothing showing up on Defender until we get into the Plain States. Potent storm system there with an area of low pressure along that surge of chilly air. That's a frost advisory you see into parts of the Plain States right now. Just an indication on how chilly that air is. It is working toward the Bluegrass State as we track that October weekend in a brand new hour-by-hour forecast that will also include, guys, an increasing threat for some big-time thunderstorms as we roll into Friday afternoon and evening. Never a dull moment around here, even as we go into a chilly pattern. Details just ahead.
Chris, thank you. A Laurel County man accused of throwing a cat into a fire claims police arrested the wrong person. Police charged George Leith with animal torture this week. They say in May of 2014, he threw a cat into a fire on Waterworks Road. When the cat escaped, police say Leith threw it in the fire a second time. Leith says it happened near his ex-girlfriend's house, but from jail today, he claimed a teenager is responsible.
He was the one who threw the cat in the fire, but I guess to get out of trouble, it got blamed on me.
Police did charge 6 teenagers with a string of arsons in that part of Laurel County last year. Leith also told us he had never been arrested until now, but a check of jail records showed recent charges of domestic violence and assault. New tonight, a grand jury has indicted 2 men accused of dragging a dog and killing it. Vincent O'Brien and Jesse Durham were indicted on multiple charges, including torture of an animal causing death. In July, multiple people told police they saw a dog tied to a car being dragged on Anniston Drive. Police say they later found the dog dead. Investigators claim both O'Brien and Durham were drunk at the time.
Police have arrested a man they say assaulted a woman in a Georgetown apartment, then left with a 1-year-old child. Police say they found 22-year-old Shelton Perkins at a home on Raleigh Road in Lexington this afternoon. They say he locked the woman in a bedroom, then jumped into a car with the child inside. Police say they found the car nearby with the child still inside and safe. They say the woman climbed out of a window to get help. Police have charged Perkins with fleeing and evading, endangering the welfare of a child, and 4th-degree assault. New tonight, a Mercer County grand jury has indicted a man on sex crimes involving a child. Harrodsburg police say that 74-year-old Rufus Edwards has been charged with sexual abuse and unlawful transaction with a minor. Police say the victim is younger than 16. Police say there's an ongoing investigation into Edwards in Somerset, and they say there could be other victims. Police think the crimes may have been occurring since the early 1990s and possibly before that.
New tonight, Urban County Council members are working on a compromise in proposals to raise Lexington's minimum wage. Councilwoman Jennifer Masadi has proposed raising the minimum wage to $10.10 an hour over the next 3 years. But another proposal from Councilwoman Susan Lamb would increase it to $9 an hour. During a meeting today, council members were split on how much minimum wage should be increased.
To sit here and argue that, well, we really don't want to move people out of poverty just seems crazy. And so I believe that if you work, and if you work full-time, that you should not also qualify for welfare benefits.
Louisville city leaders recently approved raising that city's minimum wage to $9 an hour.
Tomorrow marks the 14th anniversary of the September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks. Today, a new visitor center was dedicated at the site where United Flight 93 crashed in Pennsylvania after passengers and crew fought off the hijackers. Nearly 3,000 people died when hijacked planes crashed into the World Trade Center towers, the Pentagon, and that Pennsylvania field. Events have been planned around the Bluegrass tomorrow as well to mark the anniversary. At 9 a.m., Lexington firefighters and police will place a wreath in Phoenix Park to honor first responders killed in those attacks. Carlisle will hold a parade honoring first responders at 9:30. And EKU is holding a memorial ceremony at 7:45 p.m. Students and staff will join first responders for 2 stair climbs tomorrow at Keene Hall. And Governor Beshear says flags at all state office buildings will be at half-staff tomorrow. He's proclaimed tomorrow First Responders Day.
Experts believe there is a high chance a small strike could happen as United Auto Workers contracts expire next week. According to the Detroit News, Buckingham Research auto analysts say a strike is most likely to happen at a truck plant, and they think Ford's Louisville assembly plant or its Kentucky truck assembly plant, also in Louisville, are among the most vulnerable for a strike. Analysts believe any strike would be short-term. The UAW will be negotiating with Ford, General Motors, and Chrysler. They are being honored for a lifetime of accomplishments. Tomorrow night, UK basketball coach John Calipari and former UK player Louis Dampier will be inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame.
And today, Coach Cal talked about that huge honor. Lee K. Howard has the latest now from Springfield, Massachusetts.
On Friday night, John Calipari becomes just one of 7 active college basketball coaches to be inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. What he's accomplished in 23 years as a head coach is impressive, highlighted by the past 6 years at Kentucky. But what his team accomplished last year, he says today, may never be repeated again.
Last year, you know, I want to say it, I don't see anybody ever going 38-0 in our lifetime. So we can take away what we want, but you didn't do this or you didn't win the championship. 38-0 will not be done again.
Strong words when you consider the talent that he has on this next year's roster. Calipari says he's eager to get out there and coach this next year's team as well. Cal and UK great Louis Dampier are both among the 11 who will be inducted into the Naismith Memorial Hall of Fame on Friday night. Here in Springfield, Massachusetts, Lee K. Howard, WKYT.
Wildcat fans have a lot to be proud of there. Rob will have more coming up in sports, and for more Big Blue coverage, just go to WKYT.com.
Tonight, a manhunt continues for those responsible for a string of shootings that has frightened drivers in Phoenix, Arizona.
As Chris Martinez tells us, investigators are calling this domestic terrorism.
Drivers are being warned to stay vigilant along the I-10 in Phoenix, where someone has been using vehicles for target practice. So far, there have been 11 confirmed incidents on or near a 15-mile stretch of highway. A law enforcement source tells CBS News ballistics show some of the bullets came from the same gun, and in some cases were fired from a moving vehicle. Thursday, a truck driver found a bullet hole in his trailer.
The shooter just doesn't seem to have any particular care about what he's shooting at or whatever, so I think everybody has to be concerned.
Authorities received the first reports of broken windows and damage to vehicles August 29th. They're calling the shootings crimes of domestic terrorism. More than half involved gunfire, the rest unknown projectiles. Robert McDonald is one of the victims.
This is terrorism. This is terrorizing the city of Phoenix and the Phoenix metro area. That's what this is.
Arizona State Highway troopers are now working with the FBI and adding extra patrols along the interstate as their search intensifies.
It's a big puzzle. We're trying to put all the pieces together right now to complete it.
Police are asking for the public's help in identifying a suspect. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
A $20,000 reward is being offered for any information leading to an arrest.
Tonight, the longtime owner of an eastern Kentucky bowling alley destroyed by fire says he's not sure if he'll rebuild. That fire started Monday night at Spare Time Bowling Lanes in Paintsville and then spread to some nearby apartments. Kurt Fannin and his wife owned the bowling alley for 27 years.
Our life just going up in smoke. I can't express how hard felt it was.
The bowling alley was the home to Johnson Central High School's bowling teams. The coach says the teams will practice and play in Prestonsburg. Firefighters are still trying to figure out what caused that fire.
Tonight, UK police have arrested a man for a series of thefts around the campus. Police say Akeem Johnson stole 5 bicycles. UK police say that 7 mopeds were stolen on campus in July and August, and they think Johnson is behind those as well. Police say they're looking to add some secure racks designed for mopeds or scooters to prevent more thefts.
Tonight, supporters of the Iran nuclear deal gathered in Lexington's Triangle Park for a rally. They lit candles for peace and called on Congress to pass the deal. This was part of events held around the country tonight by the Move On organization. Those at the rally said they don't want to see war in Iran.
A different response to what goes on in the world is needed, and diplomacy is a weapon of peace.
The Iran nuclear deal survived a key vote in the Senate today. Democrats voted to block a resolution of disapproval against the deal.